This all starts with what we call the appliance. It represents all the different types of heating systems you already know of, plus maybe a few types you may not be familiar with. The appliance generates heat, and depending on the design, it will typically utilize either the combustion process, electric resistance, or the refrigeration cycle, a heat pump. Based on the type of process used, there are a number of energy or fuel sources that may be used. For example, the combustion process may use natural gas, propane, coal, fuel oil, or wood. The electric resistance method utilizes electricity as the source of energy, and through the use of highly resistive elements, it is able to produce heat. The heat pump utilizes electricity to power a motor, which is used to move energy from one location to another, utilizing the refrigeration cycle. Okay, so now let's place the heating appliance in an area that we want to heat. For example, a living room. But how do we get the heat out? One way is by radiation. The appliance becomes very hot and radiates heat to its surroundings. Another method is through convection. The air around the unit becomes warm and it rises, allowing for cooler air to take its place and continue the cycle. This is called natural convection. We can also increase the rate of heat transfer by utilizing a fan to blow air across the unit. This would be considered forced convection. Finally, we have some conduction that occurs. This happens mostly in the transfer of heat from the inner surface of the unit to the outer surface of the unit. This is often called the heat exchanger. The better we do at getting the heat out, the more efficient the appliance. But what do we do if we need this heat in another room? We usually heat air, water, or steam and then transport it to wherever we need the heat. When we heat air, it is simply delivered to the heat area using a blower, ducting, and the heat register. When we use water or steam, it is delivered to the heated area using piping. At this point, we must utilize another device to get the heat out of the water or steam. Some of the most common methods include baseboard heaters, which rely on natural convection, or fan coil units, which rely on forced convection. Radiators, which rely primarily on radiation and some natural convection. And finally, radiant floors, which rely on radiation. As you can see, the process of heating a structure can take on many forms, but if you understand the basic fundamentals, it will make it much easier to understand how these systems operate.